This creepypasta is called Bob. Andrew woke up with a start. He knew what had happened and his heart sank. The sound of shattering downstairs did the same to his nerves. It had come. After weeks of watching and stalking him, the creature had finally decided to break in. The patio doors, made completely of glass, provided it with the perfect entrance. Andrew lay there in bed, in the blackness, illuminated by the small amount of light the moon provided through the space between the curtains. He listened for the creature to see if it was inside, secretly praying that everything would be silent. The terrifying cracking of glass under his feet confirmed his worst fear. It had finally made its way into his home. With this crushing realization, Andrew, now shaking, grabbed his titanium baseball bat and crept downstairs, deeper into the darkness. He was determined to confront this thing once and for all, secretly hoping, though, that it would run away when it saw him, as it normally did. Andrew stood at the bottom of the stairs, listening again. At first, all he heard was the cracking of glass under the creature's feet. Then, for the first time, Andrew heard it, breathing heavily, as if his throat was blocked by phlegm. The hideous monster snarled and clicked, gradually getting closer to Andrew. Now, in the kitchen, the creature was finally off of the glass. It walked almost silently now, strangely more agile than it looked, especially considering how clumsily it ran away. Andrew realized what he needed to do. He grasped his weapon tighter and froze, unable to move. He knew he needed to attack it, but he just couldn't. Its teeth, its eyes, its skin. They were human, but not quite. It was in the living room now, edging closer by the second. Yet, Andrew was still too terrified to move. Even if it didn't have arms, this creature was the embodiment of terror for Andrew. Andrew stood at the bottom of the stairs, shaking. He heard the creature getting ever closer. The sickening sound of his distorted breathing amplified by the almost pitch-black darkness. It was nearly at him now. He had one chance to kill it, and he wasn't going to waste it. The creature stepped into the doorway to the stairs. Andrew was hidden just to the left. He swung at full force, hitting the thing in the chest with the bat. It staggered back, then stopped and looked at Andrew, its tiny, wild eyes staring into his soul. Andrew felt a deep fear unlike anything he had ever experienced. The creature then let out a gurgle hiss, baring all of his sickening, deformed teeth in the process. It kicked Andrew in the gut, winding him. He fell down to the floor in pain, unable to breathe, then rolled onto his back and scuffed up against the wall just behind him. The creature watched him until he reached the wall, at which point it walked towards him and looked down at him if it were judging him. Lying there, helpless, it then stomped on his shin, snapping the bone. Tears began to stream from Andrew's eyes. The pain is so intense. He thought he was going to vomit. Andrew, now incapacitated, had nowhere to go and no way to fight. The creature placed his foot on his stomach, pressing down, ripping into his flesh with his long, dirty toenails. With the creature's foot now completely inside his stomach, Andrew started to cough up blood. Tears streamed down his face, and he passed out from the pain, and then passed away. The creature loomed over what was now his bloody corpse. It descended its face towards Andrew's, then tore away at a bloody piece of flesh from his chin, dislocating one side of his jaw in the process. The creature continued to tear and eviscerate Andrew's corpse until everything it could stomach had been devoured. It then left, calmly, silently, with a pure and deep hatred in his heart. It departed the same way it came in, through the broken patio doors. This creepypasta is called Another Perspective on Bob. Hey guys, normally creepy shit doesn't happen to me. Despite living in weird New Jersey, I guess I can't really say that anymore, considering I had the worst fucking week of my life. In a way, I brought all of this upon myself, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Since I worked /x/ for so long, it's only fair I tell you guys what happened to me. So, a week ago, it was my birthday. I just turned 18 and decided I wanted to fuck around and look for ghosts. I would have hung out with friends, but I wasn't in the mood to be a third wheel. If only I just sucked it up and dealt with it. Instead, I shoved my phone and a flashlight into my hoodie pockets and snuck out the back door. I didn't really expect to find much, or I would have brought a proper weapon with me too. I guess I'm sort of dumb to think about that in retrospect. I remember glancing at the clock, and it was around 11 or 12 at night when I left. It was pretty fucking dark because there was a new moon. I figured if I was going to see anything cool, it was now. Now, I was just walking around in the forest, herpa-derping. There's actually a pretty sketchy cemetery about a 10-minute walk away from my house, and it's been around for the past couple of 100 years. It's also a spot that practices a green burial, where they put the body into a biodegradable casket and send it on its way into the dirt. Well, my uncle owns a plot of land the cemetery is built upon, and being the cheap bastard he is, most bodies buried there end up thrown in there by themselves. I figured that must be some kind of ghost pissed off about having such a shitty resting place. Who roams around the cemetery at night? I guess I was thinking I could point him to where my uncle lives and start a haunting. Just for shits and giggles. It probably doesn't work that way, but I wasn't expecting to find something anyway. I finally made my way there and was about to go through the gate to the cemetery when I saw some humanoid gray colored thing in the nature trail next to the cemetery, and yes, I shit you not, my uncle thought it was a great idea to put a nature trail next to a cemetery. I'm a little nervous at this point because I can't think of anybody other than me crazy enough to go to this place at night. There isn't even a car around, so whoever the fuck that was, they must have walked there just like I did. I shouted out to this dude, thinking maybe it's just some stoner smoking or another ghost hunter. They didn't say anything, and all I could hear was a sickly sound of wheezing. I thought maybe they needed help and were out of breath from running away from something, so I took a deep breath and started walking down the trail. I whipped out my flashlight to light up whoever was down there, only to stop dead in my tracks. Whatever the fuck that thing was, it had no arms and no clothes on. Basically, I noped the fuck out of there and ran the whole way home, and I locked every door in my house. My mom was pretty pissed that I snuck out and figured that I was on a bad trip when I told her about the naked no-arm thing stalking the cemetery. I don't blame her, but I really wish she believed me, or at least humored me, so I could carry around one of the Rambo knives that she collects. I was still pretty shaken up. This freak of nature had to know where I live, because I don't really run that fast. Still, I rationalized with myself. I didn't see that fucker behind me, and I didn't hear that horrible wheezing sound, so I decided I shouldn't worry about nothing. Only a couple days later, I was sleeping regularly again, until I saw it once more. My front door was open so that my dog could go in and out as she pleased. Her name is Piggy, and she's an inside dog, but house trained, so she'll go outside when she needs to use the bathroom. Dogs always have a place that they like to shit, and her spot was smack dab in the middle of the field in front of my house. Piggy ran outside, and a minute or so later, I heard her barking. I was a little confused because she normally never barks, so I figured that there must have been a stray cat or something around. I got up to assess the situation, and that damn thing was standing in the middle of the fucking field, fixated on my dog. He had a toothy, shit-eating grin on his face, and the little teeth in his mouth looked as if they were about to rot out. He was completely hairless and gray all over, with tiny squinty eyes too. I started screaming, making any type of noise necessary to distract him from eating my beloved Piggy, who during all of this was frozen in her tracks. His eyes darted up to meet mine, and we had a staring contest for what seemed like hours, but I'm only sure it was only for a few minutes. He broke my gaze, and I shit you not, began to pee on my dog. It wasn't yellow or clear, but it was disgusting pea green that coated my dog's fur, viscous like snot. It had this horrid acidic smell similar to that stuff of sulfur. I had no clue what the fuck it was, but it was on my dog, and that couldn't have been a good thing. At this point, I grabbed a kitchen knife and I started running towards this fucker. He stopped pissing and wheezed away. I would have pursued him, but just thankfully he didn't eat my dog. Peeing on her wasn't the greatest alternative, but I put on some rubber gloves and grabbed some lilac doggy shampoo to hose her down. Piggy normally doesn't like baths, but I'm sure she was happy to get that shit off of her. I went to bed a few hours later, but not before locking all the doors again. I wasn't taking any more chances with this fuck. I didn't know what to do about him that night, so I decided to sleep on it. Now, normally Piggy sleeps with me, but that night, I never felt her climb up next to me. The one time I woke up, it seemed as if she was just staring off into the distance.
My mom was crying, telling me that there was something wrong with her. The dog was wheezing, and I instantly remembered that no armed motherfucker pissing on her the other day. I shook it from my memory pretty quick to tend to my dog. I remember she has a sad look in her eyes, and she wouldn't drink any water or even eat meat. I was scared shitless and sped to the vet, who referred me to the hospital, who had her stay overnight. Apparently, she had contracted doggy pneumonia in the middle of summer. After $1,100 in vet bills later, Piggy drove home with me the next day in a horrible thunderstorm. I pulled up to my driveway, and what do you know? That bastard was standing right in the middle of it, staring at me like a deer caught in headlights. I knew that this was my chance, no more fucking around. I floored my car right at him and saw his eyes widen to a fucking circle. Next thing I knew, he jumped up on my car, then off again, then full on sprinted off into the fucking woods. I missed him. The one shot I had to kill him. I fucking missed him. The past couple days, I haven't really slept. All I can think about is that fucking creature. I never heard of something like this before, and he doesn't seem as dumb as I thought he was. I know he's planning his next move. I'm scared shitless as to what this fuck could do to me or my family. I really don't know what to do. I got only 10 hours of sleep this whole week. I know I'm not going to be able to keep it up soon. I'm so scared to close my eyes. Scared that as soon as I do, he'll be back, but in my room, doing God knows what. Does anyone have any experience with a creature like this? I can't stay awake forever.
Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed that creepypasta called Bob. I did a creepypasta similar to this, which is based off the same character called Another Perspective on Bob. So if that does interest you, it's on a channel. I just want to say just thank you guys so much for clicking on the video. It means a lot to me that you clicked on my video out of hundreds of other creepypasta stories. So I appreciate it. So thank you. I don't have anything else to say. I'm not gonna bore you guys with the whole Gamer Subs thing. I'm not even sponsored by them, so but yeah, no. But if someone is watching for Gamer Subs and they want to give me a code, please do. I'll gladly take one because your boy's broke and I do need money. If you guys did enjoy it, please leave a like and consider subscribing. It is free and it does help with the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so you know you'll be making that little goal of mine happen, and I'll greatly appreciate it. But outside that, I just want to say just thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. So bye everyone.